The WNBA has always been fighting for its place in the sports world, trying to build respect, grow its fan base, and prove that women's basketball deserves the spotlight. But right now, the league is standing at a dangerous crossroads. A lockout is looming, tensions are boiling, and the players' union is preparing to take a hard stance that could shake the entire foundation of the sport. And the biggest question: whether the goodwill, excitement, and momentum that Caitlin Clark has worked so hard to generate can survive what's coming. The reality is simple: the WNBA has never had more eyes on it than it does right now. Ratings are climbing, arenas are finally filling up, social media is buzzing, and merch sales are through the roof. For years, the league begged for attention, and suddenly it's here. And let's be honest, a huge part of that wave of interest is thanks to one name, Caitlin Clark. Her rookie season didn't just bring excitement, it brought a movement. People who had never watched a WNBA game tuned in just to see her play. The league finally became a consistent conversation on sports talk shows, YouTube, and Twitter. That kind of energy is priceless. But here's the problem: with a lockout on the horizon, all of that momentum might vanish overnight. Fans are excited now, but they're also new. They're casual. They're curious. And if the league shuts down, do you really think casual fans are going to wait around? Sports fans are fickle. They'll move on to the NFL, to college hoops, to NBA preseason. The magic that Caitlin Clark created could disappear in a heartbeat. And that's where the danger comes in. The players are fighting for bigger salaries, better benefits, and long-term respect. And nobody can really blame them for that. But at the same time, the timing couldn't be worse. The WNBA finally has a star that moves the needle, a true ratings magnet in Caitlin Clark. She has sponsors flooding in, networks competing for games, and fans wearing jersey. To lose that spotlight now because of labor disputes, that's not just risky, it could be catastrophic. Think about it. This isn't the NBA in the 90s or NFL in the 80s, with decades of established dominance to fall back on. The WNBA is still fragile. It's still climbing. Every step forward matters. And when you slam the brakes with something like a lockout, you're not just pausing progress, you're pushing the league back years. And that's why critics are saying the players might be destined to destroy the very goodwill they've been begging for. People outside the hardcore fanbase don't care about collective bargaining agreements or salary caps. They care about entertainment. They care about the stars they want to watch. They care about Caitlin Clark pulling up from the logo and lighting up the scoreboard. When you tell those fans, sorry, no basketball because of labor issues, they don't lean in to understand the struggle, they walk away. And once they walk away, history shows they usually don't come back. That's the nightmare scenario staring the WNBA in the face. The wildest part: it's not just about the players versus the league. It's about the entire ecosystem. Networks that just invested millions in broadcasting rights. Sponsors that tied themselves to the hottest star in basketball. Fans who bought season tickets because they wanted to see Caitlin Clark in person. If a lockout cancels the season, those networks lose faith, sponsors pull back, and fans feel burned. All of it comes crashing down. And when that happens, it won't just be a temporary setback. It'll be years before the WNBA can convince people to care again. And when that time comes, who knows if the lightning in a bottle that Caitlin Clark has created will still exist. But here's the twist. The players know this too. They know that Caitlin Clark has become the centerpiece of the league's popularity. And that actually gives them leverage. Because without games, without highlights, without those viral moments she creates every single night, the league knows it loses money and attention fast. That makes the lockout battle more complicated than anyone expected. The league wants to avoid disaster, the players want to get paid, and in the middle of it all stands Caitlin Clark, the face of a revolution she never asked to carry. Every move she makes, every word she says will be dissected. If she supports the players fully, critics will say she's biting the hand that feeds her. If she stays quiet, fans might accuse her of not standing up for the league. And if she sides with ownership, her image could take a serious hit. That's the kind of pressure most rookies never have to deal with. But when you're Caitlin Clark, nothing about your career is normal. You're not just another player. You're the spark keeping the fire alive. So here's the million-dollar question: will the WNBA protect that spark or blow it out completely? Because once the lockout begins, there's no guarantee the league comes back the same. If it drags on, if games get cancelled, if fans tune out, the WNBA might never recover. And that's not exaggeration. History has shown us what lockouts can do. The NHL lost an entire season in 2004 to 2005, and it took over a decade to truly rebuild interest. Major League Baseball's 1994 strike wiped out the World Series and alienated a generation of fans. Those leagues had decades of tradition and billion-dollar support systems to survive. The WNBA. It doesn't have that luxury. That's why this situation is being called the most dangerous moment in league history. Everything the WNBA has built, everything Caitlin Clark has carried on her back, is on the line. One wrong move, one stubborn standoff, and it could all crumble. The WNBA wanted relevance, attention, and growth. It finally got it. But now comes the hard part, keeping it. And if the lockout does happen, the only thing certain is this: the league's future, its credibility, and all the goodwill created by Caitlin Clark will be tested like never before. Because in sports, momentum is everything. And once you lose it, you don't always get it back.